Hello everyone, my name is Sniping is Fun, and I welcome you all back to what is going to be the official return of my The 5 lists. I know I haven't done one of these in a long freaking time. It's been at least a year. I'm sorry. The Smash Newcomer series took over my channel immensely. Other videos, work, so on and so forth. Sorry about that. But they're back. And it's not just the lists being back. But if you see my video a few days ago, it is also going to be officially the start of what I'm dubbing Season 2 of my The 5 lists. The 40-some episodes I did way back when, I'm going to be considering the Omega Season 1, just 40 friggin' some odd episodes. But I want to try to split off my content in my The 5 list and other topical videos I'm probably going to be doing in the future, if I, top 10s if they return, so on and so forth, into seasons, doing a certain select number of episodes, videos on YouTube, 12 to 18, and then taking a break and coming back later on and doing some more. That's going to be here. So don't expect Season 2 to be 40-some episodes either, because I did not originally intend to separate them by seasons. But it's going to be starting Season 2. And what a better way for me to start Season 2 than talking about a fighting game. Lately, my channel has been really huge in talking about fighting games, especially Smash Bros. But it's not even just Smash Bros. I've been talking about Tekken, and Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, so on and so forth. Because I'm a fighting game fan. So what better way? And my original Mega Season 1 included a lot of the 5 lists that were about fighting games. So yeah, what better way to start off the Season 2 than with a fighting game? You already see the name of the thumbnail, name of the video, the thumbnail, and so on and so forth. You know exactly what this video is going to be about. It is going to be the 5 characters that should be DLC in Mortal Kombat 11. The Mortal Kombat franchise has been so controversial since it started in 1992. It was practically the creation of the ESRB rating. Very popular fighting game series over the years. Numerous good games and bad. Numerous great characters and bad. And so on and so forth. And Mortal Kombat 11 just came out about 4 or so weeks ago. It's been pretty popular and well received. We know Shang Tsung is going to be the first DLC character. Shao Kahn was a pre-order bonus. Frost you could technically unlock in the story, although you could buy her, which is still pointless. Just play the game. But we don't know the rest of the DLC. And I do know there's a rumored leaked list that came out because they went through the Switch data and they learned that there was supposed to be like 16 characters. Then there was a list as 9 and so on and so forth. You pretty much, if you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, have been playing Mortal Kombat 11 and looking into all the dirt sheets and everything, whatever, you probably have seen this information revealed and see that these are characters that supposedly are leaked and rumored and heavily, they're almost like confirmed, which a lot of people seem to think that is, which there's been numerous in video games rumors and leaks and so on and so forth over the years, especially in Smash Brothers, but also other games too, especially fighting games for that matter, that heavily get rumors and leaks and speculation that sometimes turn out to be real, but sometimes also turn out to be false. So currently, when I did this list, I took all those leaks and rumors, threw them out the freaking window, because I'm not going to consider those real until Ed Boon, NetherRealm Studios and whatnot come out and say, this is legit information, we're revealing it, here's the DLC. So there's that. And it's also my list of characters I feel deserve to be in. It's like the characters I feel should be in Mortal Kombat 11. So there's that too. So without further ado, let's get this list started. And you can see I'm in the kitchen with the ghetto refrigerator of lists, apparently, like I did with the Kingdom Hearts video a week or so ago, as well as last year when I did the Smash Newcomers list when I had you guys vote. Yes, I'm going to try to use this more often for my videos. I'm going to throw the pictures up or write the stuff or have some sort of picture or something in the background. But I'm also going to do stuff like I normally do when I sit in the chair or the couch or the living room and I just, okay, here's the pictures and I'm talking. So you never know. I just want to change it up for you so you have some different scenario to look at. So I'm trying to at least make it visually different and appealing to you guys. So let's get started with this. The 5 characters that should be DLC in Mortal Kombat 11. The first character on this list is in the leaked, rumored characters. She's very popular, has been in the series since the Super Nintendo Arcade Genesis days, and a lot of people have wanted her to be in the, they wanted her in Mortal Kombat 10 or X, whatever, and then they wanted her in Mortal Kombat 11. She was technically speculated for it, even on the base roster, and she's huge storyline importance, and that goes to Queen Sindel. Now, Queen Sindel has been a major character in the Mortal Kombat story since pretty much the beginning. Mortal Kombat 3 was her original game. She's been in almost every game since then. And when they reboot the timeline, Mortal Kombat 9 now, they made her even more important to the story because she's the reason most of the characters are dead. She was brought back, given the power of Shang Tsung, and she killed everyone, and it was only Nightwolf sacrificing himself in Mortal Kombat 9 to pretty much kill her off. She became a Revenant alongside everyone else in Mortal Kombat 9 and 10, and then totally disappears from Mortal Kombat 11. Quite frankly, she's still super storyline important. I don't know where she was in the Mortal Kombat 11 storyline, but apparently she was not there with Cabal and Jade helping Liu Kang and Katana. Her storyline could still technically be finished, given that most of the Revenants that are there are pretty much there because she was the one that killed them off. I mean, I know Quan Chi technically brought them back from the dead, but she was the reason most of them died. So I think storyline importance for some of these characters that are dead, she should be in there, even during the Kronika times, because like certain character, the entire story wasn't about Kronika and about her time stuff. So there's that. It was also about like the Revenants and whatnot. Her moveset is different with the screaming like and stuff like that. She was a fan favorite since Mortal Kombat 3, and yeah, like what? And she's heavily requested. She's probably one of the most requested characters I've seen for DLC in Mortal Kombat 11. I mean, I know she's no Rain or Reptile or whoever the heck else, Kenshi and everything, but she's been maybe top 10 at least. I've seen from people that, I want this character as DLC. So yeah, I'm gonna put her on my list. And she's the only character on my list that's from that, that rumored list. Everyone else is different. But like I said, I think she deserves it because storyline importance, she still has that. She killed every hero and created the new generation, and, pretty much in the game. Her moveset potential, which makes her different from everyone else in Mortal Kombat 11. And she's super heavily requested, and she's still technically important to the Revenant side of things in the Mortal Kombat 11 story mode, which we didn't see all aspects of certain characters that didn't even show up in it. In my opinion, she's a good choice. I'll put this right up here so you guys can see it. See, right in the background, one character. I don't know. My second choice is going to go to a character that's a new generation character that started off in Mortal Kombat 10X, and quite frankly, astonishes me he was not in Mortal Kombat 11, given he's technically important in two of the other combat kids. And you should know, one of the two choices I'm picking right here are in the story with Cassie and Jackie. I'm going to go with Kun Jin. I know the combat kids had some controversial opinions on them. Not a lot of people liked them, but there's also a lot of people that did like them. And I thought Kun Jin was a pretty overall cool character. Like the Archer character, like Green Arrow from Injustice and whatnot, they kind of went almost like an Injustice-esque story on him. His connections of being like a cousin or some sort of distant relative to Kung Lao, about him trying to understand his cousin, because that was his arcade ending in X. And I thought they were going to add to that, to the fact that Kung Lao was still around in Mortal Kombat 11, and maybe have him team up with his Kung Lao's younger self to take on the Revenant form. I just don't know why he wasn't in the game at all, why he wasn't in the story. Technically, he was still very important to the story. And his fighting style is different, being an Archer character. We currently have none of those in Mortal Kombat 11. He's one of the newer generation characters that were cut from pretty much Mortal Kombat. Like, we need some of these newer characters to still technically beef up the roster. Like, a lot of the roster still heavily is like the new generation characters from 11 specifically, as well as all the old generation characters. You kind of need to find some balance, and there's some people that were obviously important to the Mortal Kombat 10 story, like Kun Jin to some extent. He wasn't as important as certain characters, but he was sure as heck a major character to the story, and he was fairly popular. I think he was probably fairly well received. More so than Jackie, and Jackie came back. I know her storyline with Jax, her dad, and whatnot, but people liked him, and I sure as hell seen people questioning why he wasn't in the base roster of 11. And quite frankly, I think he deserves it for his playstyle, his importance to the story. There is some demand for him, not as much as say Sindel, because she's an OG original 3 game in the series, but for people who were playing X and looking at all these new characters they had with that time skip and all that whatnot, he was decently well received. Not the top one, but he was in the middle at least. And I do believe, like, we need to see more emphasis on a story on how I am trying to connect to Kung Lao. That's it. That's my second character. Let's get this started. Okay, right there. Number 3 is going to go to, I wanted to make sure to include at least one 3D era character in here, because I do believe that NetherRealm and Ed Boon and whatnot have been screwing those characters around so much. And this is a character that actually was in one of the endings in Mortal Kombat 11, in Mortal Kombat X. Sorry, it's late and I'm sorry, I'm a little tired here. He was referenced, and he was the major character, one of the major characters back in Armageddon, and that goes to Tavon. I know Dagon could be in there too, but I just want to pick Tavon specifically, so that pretty much proves that I don't have Dagon on my list at all. But the good brother, the one that's your conquest character in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, he technically, Kenshi and Takeda rescued him and awakened him in the new timeline. Apparently, that's kind of what Takeda's ending in his tower mode, his arcade mode, was back in X. And it's like, he's technically one of the new, like the 3D era characters that's still technically alive, and the importance of his storyline with Armageddon and whatnot, and his brother Dagon and everything. And I know not a lot of people like him. I know a lot of the 3D era characters get really, really massively crapped on. But some of them just never got the full storyline development, character development like a lot of the early 2D era characters got. So that's the reason why I think a lot of people don't really like them. And I think if they gave them more of a shot, I think fans would like them more. But yeah, I want to say Tavon, his fighting style is fairly different. His popularity, he's definitely probably less popular, definitely than Sindel and even Kung Jin. But storyline importance and the fact that he was mentioned at least in the new redone timeline, I think should be at least, there. And technically, we are around the timeline of Armageddon, and Takeda and Kenshi saved him and awoken him with the dragon and whatnot. And his ending, tomato, I really think he deserves it. I really think he'd be a fun new character, and it gives a new light to a 3D era character, which they have not done for a lot of people, like Suhao and Cobra and I don't remember some of these characters. Some of them just get killed off randomly by like freaking Aaron Black or Cassie even and whatnot, like in the comic books and everything. 3D era characters need at least a little bit more representation. We got like Frost and whatnot, but we need a little bit more, and he was definitely in that era, those 3 games from Deadly Alliance to Armageddon, that I think had at least a decent chunk of storyline importance, especially because he was one of the major characters in the Armageddon storyline. And that's what made Raiden jump back in time and redo the timeline. So yes, I'm going to go for Tavon. Put that right there. Perfect. Number 4, I had to include him in there. He was my favorite character from Mortal Kombat X, and I already put in Kung Jin. We have Jackie, we have Cassie. You know exactly who I'm talking about. It's Takeda. Why in the blue of goddamn hell was Takeda not in this game? He was probably one of the most popular choices. I know the whole mission of him going with his brother, his father Kenshi, going after the Red Dragon clan. That's basically the big story. He supposedly was. He's on a secret mission, but they don't mention him in the storyline at all. They mention him in like intros and like character intros and battles and whatnot. He was a fun character to play as moveset wise. He was probably he was the most popular of the combat kids, and as controversial as you know believe those characters to be, I think even ones that thought they were controversial at least liked him. He had a good storyline build up, being raised in the Shirai Ryu by Scorpion. He believed that his father was pretty much the reason his mother was killed. Blah blah blah. He wanted to hide him, so on and so forth. His moveset was fun. I want him in this game. Out of all these choices so far, he is my number 1. I want him so bad to be in this game. He was so fun to play as, and it's just, in my opinion, to have 2 of the combat kids and not the other 2 just feels like a little irksome to me, because this only takes place so many years after X, and they're all still storyline important. I know some of them might not have been majorly important to Chronica's story, but yes, please, Ed Boon, please, NetherRealm, can we please have Takeda in the DLC? I want to see how well you can update his moveset and see how cool he still is. Okay, we got 4 characters so far. Sindel, Kung Jin, Tavon, and Kenshi. Takeda. Number 5 is going to go to another Revenant character that I feel should be brought in. And he's also a classic era character, and a lot of people want him, but I want him specifically for his Revenant form, not his human form. We already have Sindel, and I know Nightwolf was supposedly in the leak. It's not Nightwolf, it's not Stryker, it's not any of those. Throw those out the window, because my choice for number 5 is going to be Smoke. Or in my personal opinion, make him just a Nenra. My choice is make it a Nenra. Like, bring him in, he's all smoky and evil, like, I am Smoke is dead. I am a Nenra. You know, that kind of thing. Make him very ghostly, and you can do all these mist attacks. Like, take his moveset from 9, just make him be able to turn his body more into smoke. One of his fatalities could be him turning into the Nenra creature and just ripping someone apart. That'd be kind of cool. And smoke, everyone wants smoke. If it's not Reptile and it's not freaking Rain, like, people love the ninjas. We just need more ninjas, and Mortal Kombat 11 lacks ninjas. So yes, smoke. I would say make his base outfit a Nenra, but then you can get gear that makes him smoke, human smoke, like maybe even with the silver hair if you really want that, which I thought that was a pretty cool design. But he has a cool story, being basically possessed by a demon, by a clan, and forgetting himself. And then he basically, that awakens in him once he got killed by, oh yeah, Sindel. So yeah, and where is he at? Where, like, I question where most of these Revenants were helping, like Liu Kang and Katana in Mortal Kombat X. In 11, given that most of them were still helping Quan Chi in Mortal Kombat X, and then he gets killed off, so where did the rest of them go? Sindel and Nightwolf and Smoke and Striker all just disappeared. Just Jade and Cabal are left. But yeah, I want to go with Smoke / Nenra as my number 5. I'm just going to hold it here. There we are. Perfect. Yeah, I'm just going to hold this one. My 5 characters I believe should be DLC in Mortal Kombat 11: Sindel, Kunjin, Takeda, Taven, and Nenra / Smoke. Put in the comments what you guys think. You guys like these 5? What characters do you want to see as DLC in Mortal Kombat 11? Do you believe the rumors? Do you believe the leaks? Do you think them hacking into the Switch's data and noticing there's supposed to be like 16 some odd DLC characters, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Ash Williams, oh, blah, blah, blah. Terminator. You think that's real? Or do you hope it's real? Or do you think it's a fake, or at least somewhat fake, and there's going to be other characters as DLC? Who do you want as DLC? Do you like any of these 5? That's it for my return to the 5 list. I hope you guys liked it, and stay tuned when I do more.